teams be doing on the sidelines? They'll obviously be watching the game as well. That sets a marker, doesn't it?
It's set a big marker. It really, really has. You know, there's still another couple of teams that we're left to see, but the games do come thick and fast. Fortunately for Bangladesh, they get 4 days off, so that's going to help them in their preparations going through, in seeing if they can get through to the knockout phase into the semi-finals. But today's a new day, so, you know, we've got to look ahead. We've got to look at what quality they have. The coaches will have watched the game yesterday, and they'll know exactly what they're going to be up against. So tactically, it's going to be interesting to see how these two sides line up. Will they go with a 3 at the back? Will they play 4? We know that one of the teams is going to play a 4-4-2. Will there be a couple of holding midfielders for, you know, one of the other teams as well? Are they going to play a 4-3-3? So will they be attacking? Will they be pressing? It's all what we saw yesterday, but it happens again 24 hours later, and that's why we're lucky.
We can't wait for that, of course, and that match coming up shortly. But first of all, let's just go back to what happened yesterday. Fantastic time. And we also had a chance to speak to the Finance Minister, Mr. AHM Mustafa Kamal. This is what he had to say about Bangladesh women's football and the future of this tournament.
Now, Bangladesh has come of age. Bangladesh is not in the period, you know, that it was 10 years, 15 years back. So at this stage, we are making improvement in all the arenas of human living, whether it is games, sports, or it is education, or it is jobs, or it is business, or I mean, in cricket we are one of the top leaders. So in football also we want to become like that, and our priority is games and sports, along with education for the youngsters. You know, because we know if you can keep our youngsters engaged with any event or with any passion. So in that case, it is good for the country. So it is through them we see the future.
Yeah, very positive words there from the Finance Minister, and Bangladesh has come a long way in a short period of time.
Yes, it has, and hosting an event like this and a tournament like this for the young ladies, you know, the women, is fantastic as well. So it shows that the development is not only in the men's game, but also the women's. But we heard the MP there talking about and the importance of the kids having the opportunity to play sports, and that's across the whole board as well, to help develop Bangladesh. It does give character, it gives you learning, it gives you spirit, it gives you teamwork, it gives you everything, and that's something that a thriving economy needs. So he's a very shrewd man, let me tell you that.
Absolutely right there. Good to hear from the Finance Minister. And also, let's remind you who this tournament is named after. Sheikh Fazilatunessa Mujib, of course, the mother of the nation, Bangamata.
বঙ্গবন্ধু বাঙালি এবং বাংলাদেশ যেমন একই সূত্রে গাথা, তেমনি জাতির পিতা বঙ্গবন্ধু শেখ মুজিবুর রহমান, বঙ্গমাতা বেগম ফজিলাতুন্নেসা মুজিবও পরস্পর অবিচ্ছেদ্য নাম। 1947 সালে পাকিস্তান সৃষ্টির পর শেখ মুজিব কলকাতার পাট চুকিয়ে চলে এলেন পূর্ব পাকিস্তানে। ভর্তি হলেন ঢাকা বিশ্ববিদ্যালয়ে আইন বিভাগে। সে বছর 28 সেপ্টেম্বর মুজিব দম্পতির প্রথম সন্তান শেখ হাসিনা জন্মগ্রহণ করলেন টুঙ্গিপাড়ায়। তরুণ শেখ মুজিব তখন সংগ্রাম করছেন পূর্ববঙ্গের উপর পশ্চিম পাকিস্তানি শাসকদের বৈষম্যমূলক আচরণের বিরুদ্ধে। মাতৃভাষা বাংলার দাবিতে 1948 সালের 11 মার্চ গ্রেফতার হলেন বঙ্গবন্ধু। ছাড়া পেয়ে তিনি ঢাকা বিশ্ববিদ্যালয়ের 4র্থ শ্রেণীর কর্মচারীদের অধিকার প্রতিষ্ঠার আন্দোলনের নেতৃত্বের কারণে ঢাকা বিশ্ববিদ্যালয় থেকে বহিষ্কৃত হলেন। এভাবেই বারবার কারাবরণের মাধ্যমে শেখ মুজিব পূর্ব পাকিস্তানে বিপুল জনপ্রিয় জাতীয়তাবাদী এক নেতায় পরিণত হলেন। শেখ মুজিবকে সংসার সীমান্তে না বেঁধে প্রেরণাদায়ী হয়ে পাশে দাঁড়ালেন বঙ্গমাতা ফজিলাতুন্নেসা। বঙ্গবন্ধু তার আত্মজীবনীতে সেই অবদানের কথা স্মরণ করেছেন প্রথমেই। বঙ্গমাতা ছিলেন এমন একজন আপোষহীন, দূরদর্শী ও নিরহংকারী আদর্শ বধূ এবং মায়ের প্রতিচ্ছবি, যিনি বাঙালির অধিকার প্রতিষ্ঠার লড়াইয়ে নিজের সব কষ্টকে জয় করেছেন, কিন্তু কোনোদিন পাদপ্রদীপের আলোয় আসতে চাননি। খোকা থেকে মুজিব, মুজিব থেকে মুজিব ভাই, মুজিব ভাই থেকে বঙ্গবন্ধু, বঙ্গবন্ধু থেকে জাতির পিতা হয়ে ওঠার পেছনে যার অবদান অনস্বীকার্য, তিনি হচ্ছেন বঙ্গমাতা শেখ ফজিলাতুন্নেসা মুজিব।
There are some of the sights around the ground here at the Bangamata National Stadium. The lights are coming on very shortly indeed. And let's remind you, Tajikistan are taking on Mongolia very shortly here. The second match of the Bangamata Under-19 Women's International Gold Cup 2019. And we can't wait for that one to see what's in store. It could be a very interesting game with both sides wanting to set their stall out and give a little message out to the other teams in this tournament. Now, going back to that opening day, as we see the sun just beginning to set here as well. And that's a lovely sight, isn't it? And hopefully the sun won't set just yet on a few teams in this tournament. They want to go as far as possible. They're all aiming at least for the semis. And reminder, going back to that opening day, we had a couple of celebrities in the house. One of Bangladesh's biggest stars, Jaya Ahsan. She was there with Tohura Khatun, a Bangladesh player. And this was sort of like the opening ceremony to get things going just before that first game, Paul. And it's nice to see that this kind of tournament has really got people's imagination, hasn't it?
Yeah, and she spoke very well as well, didn't she, supporting the tournament. She's, of course, the tournament ambassador, so it's great that the girls, young aspiring ladies, have somebody to look up to as well. So it's great. You know, it's wonderful to see that women's football is taking the world by storm. It's Women's World Cup next year. Of course, the Under-17 World Cup will be in India just next door next year as well. And to have an Under-19 tournament is great vision from the Football Federation.
There are the substitutes for Mongolia, and just having a little chat with the Mongolian team, or at least the coaching staff earlier. And again, just like Bangladesh, it's a very young team. They've got plenty of 15, 16, 17-year-olds, only a couple of senior players, and I think everyone is using this. Because it's an unusual tournament in this part of the world. You don't have many of these kind of tournaments, Paul. It is a great time to sort of blood these youngsters, isn't it?
It is. It really is, to look forwards then to the qualifications for the AFC and for World Cups that are going to be coming up pretty soon. And you need that generation to have played football at a set level and a certain level. And having a tournament like this, it gives you great exposure. It gives you the great opportunity to blood in the 16, 17-year-olds, because qualification will start later this year and next year. So all of a sudden the kids are becoming 17, 18 years old, which means they will be playing in that Under-19s tournament. And it's tournaments like this that is only good for football, particularly women's football.
Yeah, 50% of this team have been playing together since the under-14s in the Mongolian side, and the other half, well, this is their first ever international tournament, so that is going to be a little bit daunting, but what an experience for them. They came together about a month ago for a camp, and let's hope that's enough preparation for Tajikistan. We had a good chat with their camp as well, and also quite a young team, Paul. I guess only 4 players around 18.
Yeah, 4 players around 18, the rest are 16-year-olds. So again, we asked the coaching staff there about what was the ethos and the mentality behind that, and they turned around and said, we want to develop these young ladies and these girls into, you know, full-time footballers that they can play all the time. They said that they were all housed together. How long that's been, we're not sure, but we know that the team, or the kernel of the team, has been together for the last 3 or 4 years. So they will have an understanding, and that could prove the difference between these two sides. Again, intriguing to see what will happen. Mongolia just preparing for the month. Tajikistan had a little bit longer as a team. So, yeah, a good game in prospect.
When you look at international level, as we see the two teams come through, we'll talk about that in just a short while. They're going to make their way towards the field now.
They look relaxed, don't they? That's a good sign and a good thing.
It's the big occasion, isn't it, Paul, for many of these girls, and as I said, for a number of them, it's their first chance. It is a look of joy. It's a look of excitement.
Well, you can't blame them, can you? Great stadium, great opportunity to showcase yourself, and a chance to really reaffirm yourself in the national squad to stay there, because there are going to be young ladies back in Mongolia back in Tajikistan watching this that'll turn around and they'll be out there training tomorrow because they want the opportunity and chance.
They want to do this, don't they?
I mean, there's no higher honour in football than representing your country. It's the highest accolade as an individual that you can get, because nothing beats it. It doesn't get better than that.
Yeah, I was just mentioning earlier, Tajikistan, I think in women's football, certainly have had much more experience in that department, and the women's national team, they played each other just about a year ago. Mongolia winning that game 4-1. Things could be a little bit different here today. I mean, if you talk about the UAE and Bangladesh at women's level, UAE higher ranked than Bangladesh, but that was not in evidence yesterday. We'll talk more about that after the national anthems. So we'll get things underway very shortly here in the Bangamata U19 Women's Gold Cup as Tajikistan take on Mongolia. And just saying earlier, as we see the officials for this evening's game, in charge, Manaz Zokai of Iran, assisted by Bahamed Saifin Nabahandi, also from Iran. Uvena Fernandez, who was involved in yesterday's game, as was Pansa Chaisanit from Thailand, also involved today as assistant and fourth official, respectively. Now, the Tajikistan side, as we mentioned, coached by Kanawat Latipov. We had a good chat with him and his assistant earlier on, and he said, we asked him to name a star player, and he said every one of them is special, as you'd expect a coach to say. But he was pretty happy with the squad that he's got, and he said that they are aiming for nothing less than the finals. Though they have said also, and that's something I'll be talking to Paul about in a short while, they've found the conditions quite difficult for them in terms of the humidity especially. They come from rather cooler weather, especially at this time. Now just sorting out which ends they're going to be playing at. Now, Mongolia's side as well, they have said, just like Tajikistan, they are going to be aiming for nothing less than the finals as well. But they are fairly low ranked. Coached by Naoko Kawamoto, Japanese coach. And so you may expect, if they're to follow the traditions of Japanese football, smooth, fast-flowing football, lots of possession. That's how the Japanese tend to want to play. Let's see if they've been able to transmit that to their team. Unusual huddle. There's Manaz Zokai from Iran in charge, as mentioned. The Tajikistan bench, there's the man we talked about earlier, Kanawat Latipov. Naoko Kawamoto, the Japanese coach of Mongolia.
Well, if you want to gauge, Sijad, these two have played each other at the full national level for the AFC qualifiers back in November, and Tajikistan won 4-1, so it'll be intriguing to see if that happens today.
Yeah, Tajikistan get things going. They've gone for the long ball. Chase on there by Zeboniso. Abduloeva. Nice passing there on the left-hand side from Solongo Chinbata. Wins a free kick.
It looked as though Tajikistan was setting the stall out early, going the long route, trying to apply pressure straight away. Interesting to see how they defend here, though.
There were 3 Mongolian players attacking that, just one Tajikistan player covering it, but nice bright start from both sides. No one's sitting back here.
Nice little ball in the channel there. Just meant that players got dragged about. Dogazaya having to come across and deal with it. And does well again there. Just out checks Svarova.
Gets the ball across now. Out to Enkmagad. One thing, Paul, as I mentioned earlier, is the Tajikistan camp certainly did raise the conditions as a... It certainly was something they felt quite strongly about. That it was difficult for these goals, and you've been to Mongolia as well. It's dry heat as well, isn't it, there?
Yeah, it's very dry, and it does get cold.
So I just wonder how they're going to cope, because the UAE seem to struggle in these conditions. It's a ball put across, but it looked to be offside anyway on Sarangrav. Remember, they felt just a little exhausted, the UAE, yesterday. Quite early on, they already felt those conditions and the humidity. That's a foul by Sarangarov. Oh, that was a bit of a mistake here. The goalkeeper Mukzul has come off the line. She races back and they couldn't control the ball. Tajikistan doing well with the ball here, putting it back into the mix. And a bit of panic at the back there for Mongolia.
Yeah, there was a nice little cushion pass there though. Kubanova just trying to lay that off. Bright start from Tajikistan.
Offside is the shout on Kurbanova. Just cheekily backheeling that. She might be in for a busy evening, Mukzul, if that kind of defending continues. Pumped forward by Urin Tuya. Hablaheva, Nilufa Hablaheva goes forward. A little bit scrappy at the moment, both sides trading possession quite easily. Shamsova now. They're going to have to go back to the keeper. Looked to be a slightly high boot there from Laura Tom, got away with it. Very good challenge from Salongo.
Proper challenge, wasn't it? Making sure she won the ball.
What are we gleaning from these first 5 minutes, Paul, so far?
I think the tempo isn't like it was yesterday. I think Bangladesh set a higher tempo. These two sides, I think they're just trying to play their way into the game. They're trying to feel each other out, just make sure that they settled first. I think that's what we're seeing. We've seen Mongolia have a couple of opportunities to push and break into that final third. And likewise, Tajikistan. It's just going to be who has the cutting edge. If we remember yesterday, we did mention that the one issue was that final ball or the final touch, the final pass that lets Bangladesh down. Will that happen today with these two sides?
Well, an opening here for Mongolia. And it's slightly panicky defending at the other end now. It's the final third so far that has just let them both down a little bit in these early stages. Put out a play there by Abdullaheva. Keeper's got to get that under control.
It was good communication, to be fair. Shukranai just talking to her players, her outfield players, to leave it. So the channels are there for communication between the defence and the goalkeeper, which is always important. Dolgozaya is absolutely no nonsense. That's the second or third time we've seen her now just deal with things very quickly.
First corner of the game then to Tajikistan. They've gone short. Good work coming in then. Shamsova. Mongolia managed to get it away.
It's got to be a foul. It was a great little feint there in the middle of the park. That was lovely from Faizalueva.
She's gone down and no foul given. Just to pick herself back up and run back towards that centre. You can see it. Just towards the centre circle. A bit more physical, this Mongolia side.
That's what we said, didn't we, Shazad, when we were watching them warming up? They're a little bit bigger, they're a little bit leaner, they're a little bit more physical than what we saw in yesterday's game.
You're absolutely right, Paul, about the intensity, the pace of this game. It's a lot slower than yesterday.
It's different because they're tactically set up differently as well. You know that Bangladesh were pushing and playing with a squeeze. They forced the play high up the field of play, which kept the tempo there because the UAE couldn't get themselves out. And I really genuinely think that both sides here are just feeling their way into this game. They want 10-15 minutes of just settling down, and then we'll start to see them play their brand of football. As you mentioned, Shazad, it's a big test for these girls because for a lot of them it's the first time they've been away to play in an international tournament, so you know it can be a bit nervy as well. Nerves do play a part.
The Mongolian bench on the opposite number. I think you'll feel that so far they've probably just about edged proceedings.
Yeah, I think you're spot on there, Shazad. Just with possession and just playing and breaking between the lines. But if you watch and you see Elazayat, the number 18 for Mongolia, drops very, very deep, almost like a sweeper in that back four.
Trying to play a little bit clever there. Sobirova didn't quite get the touch she wanted.
Well, this is where, if you're the coach of Tajikistan, you turn around to Sobirova and you say, don't play with a 5, you go and push yourself on to the 18.
Yeah.
You know,
stick on her. Yeah.
Play on the last man. Go and play on the last player. That's what you've got to do.
I think Bangladesh did that quite well yesterday, didn't they? Just peeling off that last defender, especially when ball's over the top. Shopner was a real handful at times.
Proper threat, a real threat. Quick and powerful as well.
Well, and that's what you're talking about, Paul. That kind of ball over needs to be a better kick than that. And this was one of the problems we had yesterday with the UAE. Couldn't get the ball out of their own half at times, especially on goal kicks.
Quite clearly a foul. There you go, there's a little bit of urgency there as well. You know, you see Shamsova come over to pick up a teammate. We didn't see that yesterday with the UAE, so I'm hoping to see a lot more committed performance from UAE tomorrow.
Nice ball through. Needs a shot! Well, again, just overstretching. Could have taken it earlier.
Yeah, she could have done. In the end, no problems for Mungzol in goal. There's that ball threaded through, playing right on the shoulder, getting in behind it. I think it just skipped away.
Yeah.
I think that was the problem. Of course, we get to see the replays, Shazad, so we're very lucky.
Rajab over there with the opportunity. That's the first real chance, I think we'll call it, of this game.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. It's come, what, 12 minutes in, but I think you're right what you said just a couple of minutes ago, and it's starting to come a little bit more to fruition. Tajikistan just slightly on top here. They do look the better side, but Mongolia don't look out of it at all.
Yeah, a bit of pressure being applied there from Ekmagad, and that's what happens. The ball's taking a very awkward bounce, and they've got to put that out for a corner, and that can happen, can it, sometimes?
I think Tiger Woods would have been pleased with that one, the amount of backspin it had on it. It was unbelievable, wasn't it? It's a comfortable roll back, and rather than take a touch, Sugranay's tried to hit it first time, but got right underneath the ball, and it spat back over her head. You don't see that very often, but Mongolia will be very disappointed that they didn't slot that home.
Kozayeva saving the blush. That's actually a very good corner. That's a brilliant start from Mongolia. They've got the opening goal here. Undral heads into an empty net with that high corner taken and a deep one right at the back post, and he's absolutely furious.
Well, the marking's terrible. All she's done is she's just rolled round the back and she's just let run. Shamsova was just caught ball watching. But I tell you what, this is how football can be funny at times, where the team that looks the most comfortable and is in control, bang, they get done. It's a set play to the far post. What did we say yesterday about shutting the back door? And that's exactly what the skipper Undral does. And doesn't she look pleased? What a good header it was as well.
Very delighted. And she does well. And I think you've also got to have a look at Abdullahieva, who was supposed to be keeping an eye at that back post. I think she got a bit of grief from her teammates and probably the ire of her coach as well.
No, Shamsova's the one. She's just let her run. She just span off her. It was a great move. It was a well-worked set play, to be fair, because all Undral's done is she's just used the body of Shamsova to roll round her and get behind her, and then just ghosted in at the far post unmarked, and the simplest of headers is Mongolia a lead.
And that does, of course, make things more interesting, because, as we said, Tajikistan were the better of the two sides, and now they're going to come out. We're going to have to really go at them.
That's a test now, isn't it? Can they bounce back? That's the big question.
And now there'll be a little bounce in their step here for Mongolia.
That's what I said about the tactics earlier. Neither side has come out and gone hell for leather. They've tried to play their way into the game. It's nice to have got another early goal, Shazad, which always helps, because, absolutely, you know, with three teams in a group, you have to come out and you've got to try and win it, because you can't afford to lose your first game.
Yeah, so UAE on the other side will be now having to look at a must-win match coming up. UAE now, sorry, Mongolia there. It's a great ball across from Sarangarov. Very nicely done by Enkmagad. Now they're going to take a shot, and that's not a bad effort. That just dips a little too late from Undral. But look at it, Mongolia, what a goal has done for them.
Very, very well played. We actually saw them warming up with shooting practice from about 18 yards, and to be fair, the girls weren't hitting the target, were they, Shazad, until the very end. I think the coach obviously had a word, but she's not a million miles away here, look. I mean, that's only a couple of feet over the top of the crossbar, but it was a lovely ball threaded through into that wide area. Enkmagad just trying to pull it back there with that little bit of magic on the byline. Well played.
Tajikistan have a player down, and things aren't looking so good for them at the moment. And Mongolia, they feel they've got the bit between their teeth, haven't they?
Well, the game's swung, hasn't it? And like you said, it's amazing what a goal can do. It just gives you so much confidence. And we saw that yesterday more than anything, didn't we?
Here's Undral, the goal scorer. She's been pulling the strings, hasn't she? Trying to get that through to Salongo. Forward now by Rajabova. But they're winning the balls now. They're winning those challenges, Mongolia. And it's the Tajikistan girls that are on the ground at the moment, feeling that physicality. There's a prime example of that.
I thought that was a foul, if I'm being honest. She got past there, little nudge in the back.
They're not afraid to throw it around a bit, Mongolia.
No, we said they're physically big, aren't they? So they're going to be physically big and strong. But now they're starting to play their brand as well. So lovely crossfield pass again.
Well, Salongo can get to that. Needs a bit of support here, Salongo, and that's put out of play by Kozayeva.
I tell you, these Undral's picking the passes out left, right and centre, isn't she? fantastic play. Will they mark her more closely on this occasion from the corner?
Yeah, she was certainly one of those marked out as a key player for Mongolia. But remember, they scored off the last corner. They've gone for a different routine this time. Getting onto it, they're getting onto things. They need to get out of each other's way, and that could have gone absolutely anywhere. But Tajikistan are struggling on these set pieces.
They are, and I tell you what, Zara there, unbelievable the way she attacked that ball. She really went for it. It's the first time we've really seen one of these ladies go and get up and really be powerful with a header.
There's one of those deep corners again, and that is an important take, and great for her confidence as well, Shukranite.
Yeah, but 3 against 1, it's going to be a tough ask. And again, a brave header. Clash of heads as well.
Yeah, that didn't look good, I have to say, and I think the Tajik players come off worse. Amin Oyu was up against Sobirova. Oh dear.
Bang. Oh,
Was that just near the nose as well?
It was just on the eye. I think her eye is starting to swell up and on the nose. But I tell you what, doesn't it show how committed these girls are to playing? Because either one could have shirked out there and not gone for that. But that was a hefty challenge there from both girls. No malice, both focused, eyes on the ball. I mean, it's part and parcel of football. It does happen. It happens all around the world, whether it's the under-7 kids playing football all the way through to seniors and veterans and full national teams. The desire to go and win that ball has to be in you. And if it's in you like it was with those two ladies occasionally, you know, you do get these little accidents.
Well, hopefully they'll be okay, but I don't know, with that kind of injury, with that kind of impact, it might not be too good for Sobirova. She's still on the ground.
Well, it wasn't as bad for Amin because she was going onto the ball, because Sobirova was turning her head, so she got caught a little bit lower down on the face.
Let's just show you the only goal of the game so far, and that came from the Mongolian skipper. Take us through this, Paul, because it was too easy, wasn't it?
Yep, there's the little roll again. It's a wonderful set play. You'll see it there. Look at the number 8. Watch the number 8. Gets caught, turns around, and just says, "Oh, all right, then I'll let you go." You've got to chase and track back in. You've got to deal with that ball.
Yeah.
I don't hold Abdullaeva, you know, guilty at that at all, because it's not the man or the person, the lady that she should have been marking.
Yeah.
So
it was too easy, wasn't it?
You've got to deal with that. You've got to get in there, get close, make sure it's not an easy free header. Very sloppy defending in the end.
Right, the good news is that Sobirova, oh well, actually we'll just see. She's up, and she doesn't look great at the moment, doesn't look very happy about it, but I don't see too much movement on the sidelines here.
I think they're going to check if she's okay first. It did look as though it was cheekbone area towards the eye. I thought I saw it just start to come up and swell. If that's the case, she may not be able to carry on. I can't believe for the life of me Tajikistan haven't got a sub warming up yet.
You'd think, Paul, they're down to 10. They need to at least get that done, don't they? At least someone ready.
Yeah, but a key player, that's the thing.
Straight to the keeper. Well, things are playing into Mongolia's hands at the moment.
Comfortable take again from the keeper.
Now, Paul, in these kind of situations, when you're playing against 10, even if it's temporarily, would you be on the Mongolian side saying, listen, this is the moment, take advantage of it, push forward as much as you can?
Yeah, try and have a little bit of a go. You might as well, just for the next minute or two, while either a sub's warming up or they're patching up Sobirova.
Well, it looks like they are going to make... Well, no, actually, they aren't. They're still deciding what to do. They're just having a look back as well. If you're Tajikistan, you're going to slow things down, aren't you?
Yeah, you would. You take your time, although the flag's gone up there, so what's that, stepping on the pitch, foul throw? That's silly to concede that.
That's one way of slowing things down.
Well, the medical team have been over there having a look as well, so I'm sure there's qualified doctors there just checking if she's okay. I think they are going to make a change now.
So possession, no surprises that Tajikistan just edging it. There's not much in it though really between the two, and that was probably from earlier in the piece. Though since that goal, Mongolia have looked a much different outfit. They've been the ones applying the pressure. There's a rather speculative attempt from Laura Tom.
Always going wide, wasn't it?
Of part Belgian extraction, Laura Tom. Five shots to 2 already in favour of Mongolia.
You wouldn't have said that, would you,
no.
with the possession stat? That's a little bit askew. That just tells you that Mongolia are a little bit more clinical in front, or in that final third, by being able to get shots away. Whereas Tajikistan are playing the football, they're getting to the final third and not delivering. That's the issue that they've got at the moment that needs addressing very, very quickly.
Good news, I think, is Sobirova is going to come back on. In the meantime, though, that's really good work. On that left-hand side.
I think this tells us all we need to know. Remember, we asked the Tajikistan camp about who the key players are, and they said every player that we have is key. They have given Sobirova a good 3 or 4 minutes there to make sure that she's all right, so that tells you how key she is to the team.
Because in normal circumstances, Mace, by now you wouldn't have had a player for that long. No way.
No.
Back with Tajikistan. Oh, lovely turn there, but maybe a bit too much on the ball. Has actually been okay. Great work in the middle there from Sarangarov, who's dropped back quite a bit. Supposed to be the lone striker. She's enjoying her role, sort of playing a little bit deeper. Midfield here is Rajabova.
Why is she trying to come inside? Just tuck it down the line. You've got bodies down there, just roll it down the line, you can deal with it.
Exaya is down now.
There's a push there. That's the initial first push, then there's a lash out. But that should have been a free kick to Tajikistan. No nonsense there, was there, from Rajabova?
Away by Rajabova. Just trying to see whether we've got the full complement back. They have now. Sobirova is on, and that's a relief, I suppose, as far as Tajikistan are concerned. Whether she can last till half-time, or maybe they'll make a change there, we'll see.
No, that's what I said, bringing her back onto the field of play, giving her that much time to recover, tells you how important she is to the team. So she's definitely the key player, or one of the key players.
It's away by Selongo Ekanbata.
No nonsense again there from Dogazaya.
Shamsova. Now in a bit of space, looking to take the shot. Oh my word, it's gone in! Well, it was an innocuous effort there. The keeper, Shokranai, has got to do better than that, and that's just rolled in. And that's rather a fortuitous goal. She doesn't care, Enkmagad, because it's 2-0 Mongolia.
Well, again, just as Tajikistan look to be playing the ball and keeping possession and getting back into it, they get stung. It's a lovely little ball rolled forwards, and the angle's totally against that. I think the keeper slipped. I think that Shukranai has come a little bit too far there, and she slipped, and that's the problem. But it just goes to prove, if you put the ball on target, anything could happen. It's back across the keeper. It's into that far corner. It's a textbook finish, to be fair. Composure personified, but I can't believe that Mongolia are 2-0 up, but it's deserved. They've created the chances, they've created the opportunities, but they've taken 2 of them.
I just wonder whether she was playing the percentages at Shukranai, put her weight on her left foot, realised the shot was not going to be a near post, and then lost her footing, her grip a little bit.
Well, we say of goalkeepers that that's cheating if you go a little bit too far, that, you know, but you don't want to get done at the near post. But that was a slip, so that was the issue, that was the problem. So 1 set play, 1 slip. It's 2 mistakes that have cost Tajikistan.
This is real pressure now on Tajikistan, isn't it? A team that we had thought started the far bright of the 2. Now they're 2 goals down. And you can't legislate for things like that, of course. But Mongolia will be delighted with this. Now, can they keep it going? Here they come now, Tajikistan through Abdullaeva. She's on her own, needs some support. There was absolutely no one around her. And that's nicely done by Urin.
That was very nicely done, wasn't it? Again, looking to play their way out of trouble. Not just lashing the ball forwards and let's chase it.
Well, they can't be too happy now. There seems to be a little bit of movement at the moment. And I think they are going to make a change. It does appear, I think, they feel they've got to do something. Now, I wonder if it's going to be Sobirova or another player has to come on shortly. A tactical move. Let's have a look. Some really good dribbling here. Making her way through Khuda Dudova. Well, she's gone down now. And they've struggled against the physicality here. But a great bit of skill there from Khuda Dudova. Got past a couple of players.
Here's the goal again, though. Lovely ball just tucked forwards into the path of Enkmagad. Dear oh dear, comedy of errors.
Meanwhile, at the other end, it's cleared away. Powerful shot off the crossbar. That's a little bit better from Tajikistan. This is what they can do. They want to keep this pressure going. A decent response, isn't it, Paul?
It is. I know I'm going to say something that's very cliche, but the next goal is going to be so vitally important here. That's a foul. Yeah. You've got the lines person out there who can see that there's a nudge in the back there, who doesn't raise the flag to help the referee. The referee's had to call that herself.
This is that great pile driver from Rajabova.
Because I'd like to see Tajikistan get one, because I think that the pressure would shift them back onto Mongolia. It really would, but I do feel if Mongolia score again, that Tajikistan could crumble. That's why I said this next goal is going to be so critical for the match.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think they're capable of getting that 1 goal before half-time if they can just keep themselves applied. Well, we were just wondering whether that change was going to be made. Not just yet, because it's looking fairly decent for Tajikistan. They can get on the end of this. It's bobbling around, and Mongolia need to get it away.
You said it, bobbling around. It just wouldn't sit down there, would it? She was desperate to take the strike on, but it just wouldn't sit down.
Down the line. And that was too easily telegraphed. Took too long. Well, they're trying to pen them in here, aren't they, Tajikistan? Mongolia need to get it away, which they do. And Sarangarov trying to put pressure here on the back pass, and that's good. That's good play. That's better from Mongolia. That's away by Khojaeva.
Not wanting to take the risk or the chance of going back to the keeper there. Just clears the lines. Ever willing though, isn't she? Sarangarov going and closing and chasing and making sure that she forces the issue, and it's meant that Mongolia can move further up the field of play. It's another foul throw. Seems to be a trend, doesn't it? The foul throws are coming back, but they've been given.
Well, that's good to see, because quite often, as we say, and that's got to be nipped out at this age. Stop it early. They learn not to do that anymore.
Correct.
Well, that was a speculative ball for Salonga to chase. She couldn't get there. Now, the goal kicks were an issue yesterday. They've gone short, and that's what we didn't see a single one of those yesterday, did we?
Not from the UAE.
This one hasn't quite worked out either.
Well, if you're going to play short, you've got to make better angles, which means you've got to get your heels on the touchline.
In by Salongo. That's fallen nicely for Sarangarov. She was looking for some support from Enkmagad.
A little bit of afters there.
Yeah, it looked to be a foul on Laura. Oh, committing to the ball now. Could be a problem here. Tajikistan. Niso wanted some support. In the end, she was just being hustled out of the ball. And that was good play from Aminoyu.
Just wouldn't sit down again, would it? That was the problem.
Sarangarov has covered a lot of ground this evening. 10 minutes left in this first half. Mongolia leading Tajikistan 2-0. But you just get the impression there is more to come in this game.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that at all, Shez. And to be fair, I mean, you just said 35 minutes gone. It's flown by again. It really, really has. It's been intriguing.
A different sort of way from yesterday, but still quite an interesting game so far.
Yeah, very, very, because Tajikistan have done the pushing, have done the forcing, and Mongolia 2-0 up. And that is football. It happens.
Listen, they've taken their chances. Tajikistan played some of the better stuff overall.
I see more goals in this game, though. Yeah, I do see more goals, but that's why I said the next goal is absolutely critical. But that's very interesting, how the statistic has now swung around. And like you say, not just one goal, but 2 goals. The confidence that's going through this Mongolian side.
But out of play there by Urantuya. Tajikistan will feel there could be a threat going forward. It's a defence at the moment which looks a little bit suspect. Again, they've gone for that quick transition up to Sarangarov.
See, that's a foul, jumping into an opponent, but it's blown late. You can't jump into an opponent. If you're going to jump, you've got to go with the intent of winning the ball. And as it is, Hazelueva comes off worse. You see the shoulder turn, you can see it from here, Shez, where we're sitting.
That was fairly clear, wasn't it? I think there have been a couple of times where you felt the officials could have helped a bit more.
Yeah, I think so. I think yesterday was very good.
Yeah.
I think today there's been a few more little incidents here and there that maybe needed another look at. But that just tells you how physical the Mongolian side is.
Is that also because for yesterday, UAE just couldn't get on the ball. It was all possession from Bangladesh, whereas here, it's been traded quite easily, isn't it? And there's a lot of coming together, there's more 50-50s.
Yeah, but that's how Mongolia have to play, because they're physically bigger, so they may not have the pace of Bangladesh, but they've got the physicality, so that could be an interesting matchup come the latter stages of this competition. But again, it'd be interesting to see Bangladesh play against Tajikistan as well, because of the way that they play.
That was the shot earlier. That's their best chance so far from Rajabova for Tajikistan. Dalgazaya gets that away. Enkmagad. Good work from Shamsova.
Commentator's curse there, Shazad.
Apologies.
No, I mean, that happens. She does all the hard work, and then the simple 5-yard pass, it becomes difficult, and it shouldn't.
Kudadova has gone down.
Dropping like flies, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah, they are struggling with this aspect, and they're not stopping play here. Mongolia trying to put pressure again on that defence, and maybe now they'll go have a look at Kudadova.
Just by the way, what a ball that was.
It was.
The switch of play. If Salonga had just a little bit more pace, it would have been unbelievable. I mean, just out of nothing, she just dropped the shoulder, looked up, and bang, just pinged a 45, 50-yard pass.
Interesting as well that not one of the Tajik players, you know how players always gesture, stop the ball, stop play. She was injured. Not one of them did that. I know at the end of the day, of course, the onus is on the referee, but not one of them did that. Or, you know, at least put pressure on Mongolia to stop play.
Yeah. Now the flag's gone up again. Another foul throw. These are basic, simple errors that just shouldn't be in the game. Not at this age, because this is what you learn when you're 8, 9 years old about how to take a proper throw in. You do occasionally get the odd one that goes askew, but we've had 3 in this first 45 minutes. We had 2 yesterday. There you go. I'm keeping count.
We'll have Mace give us a tournament total at the end of this.
Rock solid again, she is, you know.
Yep.
Dalgazaya.
She's been quite good with the Aminoyu. Just Aminoyu gets it away.
It's just like Aki yesterday. You need a pivotal focal point in defence that can lead the team, and she's the leader of that back line.
Have you seen the equivalent with Fazilaeva or Kojaeva yet?
No, you haven't, because I think that's a bit of testament as well to Serenganav, the way that she's played, because she's kept them both busy. She's non-stop running and chasing.
You'd mentioned the eye, didn't you, there, Paul? It was just below it. That looks nasty, that one.
It's swelling up as well, but it just shows the commitment of these girls to go out there and want to play. I mean, it happens where you do get cuts and bruises, and, you know, I mean, we've run off the field of play, been stitched up and ran back out to play on with a big bandage on your head. And at this age as well, 19 years old, it shows so much commitment. It's untrue.
Again, done well there, Solongo. And Abdullaheva had gone down a little bit. They aren't enjoying this treatment at the moment.
Got a deliberate handball there. Something interesting just coming up before half time. She said, we still haven't had a yellow card in this tournament.
No. Yeah, surprisingly in this game in particular, I thought there might be one by now with some of those challenges that have gone in. That's a speculative ball again, and look who it is. Dalgazaya with that header. Oh, well, they want to get that away. Almost a big mistake, but Aminoyu has done enough. Well, there's no love lost here between these two sides.
This could get very, very interesting in the second half. You can see the eyes starting to swell up. So I'm sure she'll come out and play in the second half as well, Soborova. the plaster must be on there. Maybe there was a little nick or a little cut, or a graze, as it were, because you can go back out with blood. Oh, well played.
Xia finds Enkmagad, who scored that second goal.
So I'll tell you the difference between today and yesterday. Width.
The two wide players for Bangladesh were outstanding, weren't they? The wing backs.
Correct. There, Mongolia had a brilliant opportunity to go out wide, tuck it down the line, come back, or go inside and then go again. And they elected to do nothing. They've lost the ball. So you've got to use the ball when you get into those wide areas. Another foul throw.
Yeah, that was Shamshunahar and Moshimi that we really enjoyed watching. And they terrorised that back line, didn't they? Time and time again, that UAE back line.
Yeah, what is the old adage? If it was a boxing contest, they'd have stopped it, what, about 5 minutes into the second half, I think.
Yeah, plenty of big blows yesterday, except they couldn't get the third goal. Laura Tom is down for the moment. There have been a lot of stoppages.
Oh, naughty.
Now, is that not a card for you?
That's now on yellow card.
Absolutely.
It's gone right over the top there. That's a naughty little challenge, by the way.
Well, referee, I don't think she's seen that, but there's been a few of those.
Look at her face. It tells you all you need to know. No, there's an anger there. With a bit of anger comes petulance and comes stupidity, and you make mistakes rather than concentrate and focus on what you got to do.
Now, this is an interesting one because Kurbanova is going off with literally a minute left on the clock. She's run off the pitch, so it's not, doesn't seem to be a fitness issue. One Kurbanova on for another Kurbanova, by the way. One with a K and one with a Q. But yeah, interesting time to be making a change there, Mace.
Just to make sure that you get a touch of the ball before half-time and get a feel for it. No, seriously, she says, I think what we'll see is we'll see her out here at half-time, maybe doing a little bit more of an extended warm-up as well. But sometimes coaches do that just so that you can get a touch of the ball, just so that you can get a feel.
3 minutes of added time, no surprises there with the amount of stoppages we had, particularly to the for the injury to Sobirova.
I just wonder if that's not tactical as well. I just wonder if they're going to change to a 3 at the back and push something on a little bit further. It certainly looks that way. Quite a few bodies in there now defensively. Yeah, it does look as though that change has been made because of that.
There's the new Kurbanova on. We're into that added time. Abdullaeva has to get that back to the keeper. And again, pressure on here. Sarangarov's done well. Oh, she's been unselfish here. Needs a good finish. Well, there was time for Enkmagad, and she's flashed at that one.
What a chance that is. That would have killed the game right on the stroke of half-time. It really would. Wonderful work from Sarangarov again to just tee it up nicely. And I think she didn't realise that she had more time there, but she's definitely snatched at that. But what a time to score that would have been for Mongolia.
She could have trapped that, had time. She went first time on that, didn't she? And a great opportunity for Mongolia. Now up the other end, Tajikistan. They need more bodies. Kurbanova didn't get the right kind of crossing.
No real leg power then, was that? That was the thing. I think she's the youngest member of the Tajikistan squad.
Well, she's been a virtual passenger, Mukzul, the Mongolian goalkeeper. We're into the final minute here of the first half. There's one last chance. Kurbanova. Well, would have whatever support there is at the moment. They want Tajik to pull one back. He had a bit of a roar when she came forward, Kurbanova.
You can see there's a little bit more urgency since she's come on as well, particularly down this right-hand side. Handball. No.
Now Sarangarov, the only one up front at the moment. Laura Tom shirks out of that, but here is the Undral, the captain.